For example, it's not just statin drugs that can cause diabetes. It's also psychiatric drugs that can cause diabetes. So let's say you go in and you get on a psychiatric drug because you feel depressed, but your blood sugar is normal and fine. Well, after a few months on a psychiatric drug, an antidepressant, you may then start to have blood sugar dysregulation, and you could get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. So then they put you on a diabetes drug. Then you start to have liver dysfunction. So then they put you on a liver drug. This is how it works, Alex. This is called repeat business.
No, it's like crack dealers giving you some free crack. It all causes chain reactions, and they know this full well. They knew that Prozac-type drugs were increasing suicide when they got it approved. And it took us decades to get it on the stinking insert.
Well, yeah, and look at what vaccines cause as well. Vaccines promote liver dysfunction and kidney disorders. So if you own a dialysis clinic and they're growing all across the country, people got to go in and get their dialysis done, then of course you're going to promote vaccines because that's going to give you more dialysis business. The whole thing is a hoax, Alex. They know that vaccines and pharmaceuticals and GMOs, these are all business creators for sick people, for all the profits that are built on the suffering and the deaths of innocent people who, you know, they should be given a chance at a healthy life, but instead they're being pumped full of chemicals and DNA-damaging components and foods and medicines. Everybody is being victimized in America. If you eat GMOs, if you take pharmaceuticals, you are allowing yourself to be victimized by the system.
You're getting on an express train to Hades. Mike Adams, great job. Look forward to speaking to you soon. We'll be right back. He'll be co-hosting the show next Friday. Stay with us.
Thank you, Alex.
All right, we are now into hour number 3. We're going to show you a video and some audio coming up in about 25 minutes of Newt Gingrich, when investigative journalist, filmmaker Luke Rudkowski brings up Bohemian Grove that and cut over the video of Gingrich denying it are news articles about Gingrich being there with the gay porn stars. I'm not kidding. I'm talking New York Post articles. And the fact that there's rituals going on there and video of it all while Gingrich is there denying it. And that article is up at Infowars.com. So that's coming up here in about 25 minutes. I do have a lot of other news I want to hit on, but first let's go back to your calls. Those of you that have been patiently holding, we'll go to Josh and others here in a moment. But first, let's go to Mark in Oregon. Mark, welcome.
Hello, Alex.
Hey, buddy.
Alex, not the main reason I called, but I just wanted to give you a couple of name suggestions for the so-called media of this country that claims to be the media. But
yeah, we should have a contest for that. I mean, we know we've got prostitute traders, mainstream whores, global zombie controllers. What's your idea?
Right. 3 different choices from my point of view. One would be the lying propaganda media. Another would be the propaganda prostitute media.
The mind control media, the mind control prostitute media, yeah.
Yes, mind control media is very good also. Propaganda media, just 2 words to cover such a large thing as this spread out media in our country.
I like Decepticon media. I mean, even though that's like, supposedly an evil robot, but they are Decepticon artists. They're like Decepticon media.
That's right.
Really, enemy broadcasting system?
That would be great.
Tokyo Rose? I mean, I'm...
Sure. Maybe you could just pick one for each day of the week.
Exactly. Wolf Media, Sheeple Control System. Any other ideas?
Absolutely. I ran out of my 3, Alex. You took it from there, and I think you came up with some more mind-catching ones, so to speak.
No, yours were great. Matrix controllers, con artist media, control freak media, scammer media, snake media, viper media, demon media, New World Order media, globalist whore media, prostitute, sellout media. I mean, there's so many names. There's not enough of them for them, though.
Well, you win the contest, Alex.
I'm serious. I don't know how to describe them. Scumbag, criminal media, fraudster media, hijacker media, banker-controlled media, crime syndicate media. I appreciate your call. Good to hear from you. Josh in Seattle, you're on the air. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Good, sir. Welcome.
I just came out of the Army like 2 years ago, and I've been a security guard ever since. I have two things for you, some information, what's going on in April in Seattle. The first thing is, about a week ago, they found a bomb inside the Chase Bank over here in Othello Park.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, because you go on ComoNews.com, you'll see it. All you got to do is search it up there. And they never released a video of the suspect or anything. They just released the pictures of the guy. The guy has a mask on, everything else. And a week after that, the TSA started flooding the tunnel system here in Seattle. And another thing is that my boss...
Yeah, no, let me stop you. I am aware of this, and our government has been caught. It's not even our government. We got to stop calling it that. The criminal hijacker group posing as our government, the pretender government, the criminal government, the Fast and Furious crime syndicate drug dealer government, the mafia government, it just never ends. They have been caught attacking their own embassies with small bombs and fake bombs and things like that over and over again as a pretext. But now the TSA is stomping around in your town?
Yep. They're all over the flooding the tunnel system. You see them walk around downtown every day. And I seen one that was armed with an automatic also. And another thing is that my security boss has tasked me to do a dignitary security in April, and it's with Rex Tillerson and David Rockefeller coming here for a 3-day conference. And I've been trying to get more information from my boss. The only thing he told me was that he kind of feels like it's something like the Bilderberg Group coming or something like that.
Yeah, Rex Tillerson is the head of ExxonMobil.
Yeah, and he's coming to Seattle for a 3-day conference in April.
When is his lordship coming?
My boss will not give me the specific dates because it's top secret.
But those are just some CEOs and old bankers. They don't have any power. Yeah, they do have Bilderberg steering group meetings, and that's what it sounds like, where they'll only have 25 of the top people. They meet 5 or 6 times a year in different locales around the world, and that's what it probably sounds like.
Yeah, and I got tasked to do the security for the people that when they come to town in April. So I'll just give you some little information about that. Also, with Occupy Seattle, I got these little business cards made out. It has Infowars.com on the front. It has a little Star Wars thing on the back, on the front with Infowars.com. And then on the back, it has all the links where people can go on there and everything.
They're devastatingly powerful. In fact, I intend to come out with inexpensive at-cost stencils where you can just spray paint it on your shirt or your own barn, your own property, and some big stencils for spray painting legal and lawful areas. And we're going to sell at cost big giant boxes of Infowars.com cards with a bunch of links and facts on the back. And that is one of the most effective things you can do, and it's so inexpensive. People say, well, I'll just print my own cards. Good, do it. Don't wait for us to come out with it. Do it yourself or start your own website and have your own info and give it out to people. Just whatever you do it now because our future destiny is being decided here in the next few years. Thank you so much. Great job. Free Rider in Pennsylvania. Thanks for holding. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Alex. How are you doing?
Doing all right, my friend.
First off, I know that a lot of people that get on the air with you do this, but I especially need to do it because what you're doing is a godsend to wake up the people that are out there that have been asleep for many years. I don't think that people really realize the extent of the danger that you put yourself in by broadcasting this information every day. And you, sir, are a patriot. And we need more people like you that are willing to go out on the limb with a saw and cut and say, I'm here. If you're going to come and take me.
Well, we do, but I've gone over this a lot, and I appreciate your kind words. I've counted the cost and looked at what we're facing. And if I just turn tail and run or go along with the system they're setting up is so nightmarish, there's nowhere to run or go. It's an anti-human, anti-family system, and the people running it are so pathetic. Somebody's got to call their bluff. And the system hasn't killed me. There's a great video by a black Ron Paul supporter, black American. Forget his name, but I want to get him on the show. I've seen a lot of his videos. He's got hundreds of thousands of viewers. and he drives around his car talking about Ron Paul, and he's saying people are talking about assassination of Ron Paul, which his brother's worried about and others, and he says, too late. He said, look at Martin Luther King, only made him bigger. Look at what happened to Jesus. You're not going to stop an idea that way, and the system knows it. Now, sometimes they still do it, though, just because they're nasty. But, I mean, I'm going to drive home today, and that's the number one most dangerous thing I do. I still do it. I put my kids in the car. Totally dangerous. Cars are the most dangerous thing out there in this country, in this world, because I want to go places. I put my little sweeties in the car, and I try to drive safe knowing that. But, I mean, I'm going to take the risk because the risk of not acting is much greater. And, you know, I've had a lot of life and death experiences in my life. I had a lot of wild stuff happen to me as a child and as a teenager. And I think all of those things were so I would be fearless later in life. And I realized life is so short. I'm going to be an old man if I'm blessed to become old, wheezing and dying someday. And it's going to seem like 5 minutes from now. You know, life just speeds by. And so I'm just turning loose and saying, you know what, if they kill me, whatever, that's just the way it is. I mean, quite frankly, I'm less worried about being killed than being locked in some dungeon for 30 years. Now that, but you know what? I've got a beautiful mind. We've all got beautiful minds. That's not even really a prison. I feel sorry for those that would do that. But I hear what you're saying. I appreciate your kind words. What do you think about diversions like Stephen Colbert, to distract from Ron Paul, is mulling a run in South Carolina to basically try to make this thing a bigger joke than it already is? He wants to be up there with all the other joke candidates against the one real candidate, Ron Paul. He just dropped off. I wanted to get his take on it. I appreciate your kind words, sir. But I mean, once you give up on the fear, which and just realize this is the only course, you wonder how could you never have stood up against these people before? I mean, it's just when you realize the people that run the government run giant child kidnapping rings, and it comes out in Congress, and it comes out in the Chicago Tribune, and it comes out in the BBC, and no one gets in trouble. I mean, I got New York Daily News articles where CPS went public and said, we're told to take healthy black kids, and then they're taken to facilities and given drugs and pesticides till they die, like rats. And then they fire the CPS people and say, oh, we'll investigate, nothing happens. Okay, the people running things murder children cold-bloodedly with them strapped down. I mean, I'm not supposed to, I mean, what I'm saying is I'm not doing something that is heroic. I'm not doing something, because if we call it heroic, and I'm not saying you're wrong, I understand in this world telling the truth is a revolutionary act in a world of universal deceit. I understand that. But what I'm saying is when we see just doing the bare minimum as amazing and stoic and brave, that kind of then makes other people think, well, thank God Alex is out there. You know, he'll take the risk. Folks, I'm here to get you to be the leaders you are. I'm here to get you moving against the globalist, because I know you're there, and I've seen what you've done. And the globalists, they're scared. They're not scared of Alex Jones. They're scared of you. They're not scared of Ron Paul. They're scared of us. They're scared of all of us waking up. That's why they're getting ready to start big wars to try to have a game changer. All right.
If for sick people, for all the profits that are built on the suffering and the deaths of innocent people who, you know, they should be given a chance at a healthy life, but instead they're being pumped full of chemicals and DNA-damaging components and foods and medicines. Everybody is being victimized in America. If you eat GMOs, if you take pharmaceuticals, you are allowing yourself to be victimized by the system. Promote liver dysfunction and kidney disorders. So if you own a dialysis clinic and they're growing all across the country, people got to go in and get their dialysis done, then of course you're going to promote vaccines, because that's going to give you more dialysis business. The whole thing is a hoax, Alex. They know that vaccines and pharmaceuticals and GMOs, these are all business creators.
You're getting on an express train to Hades. Mike Adams, great job. Look forward to speaking to you soon. We'll be right back. He'll be co-hosting the show next Friday. Stay with us.
Thank you, Alex.
All right, we are now into hour number 3. We're going to show you a video and some audio coming up in about 25 minutes of Newt Gingrich.
Then you start to have liver dysfunction. So then they put you on a liver drug. This is how it works, Alex. This is called repeat business.
No, it's like crack dealers giving you some free crack. It all causes chain reactions, and they know this full well. They knew that Prozac-type drugs were increasing suicide when they got it approved. And it took us decades to get it on the stinking insert.
Well, yeah, and look at what vaccines cause as well. Vaccines, for example, it's not just statin drugs that can cause diabetes. It's also psychiatric drugs that can cause diabetes. So let's say you go in and you get on a psychiatric drug because you feel depressed, but your blood sugar is normal and fine. Well, after a few months on a psychiatric drug, an antidepressant, you may then start to have blood sugar dysregulation, and you could get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. So then they put you on a diabetes drug.